Greetings, Wookiee fans! Michael here, and chances are if you're watching this video, you are a part of the Pokemon fan base. No, not that Pokemon fan base. I mean that you like, love, or are obsessed with the highest grossing media franchise in the world. Seriously. But not all Pokemon fans are the same, and most are actually very different from each other and can even be divided into types. Types that I am going to list off. So without further ado, here are the 10 types of Pokemon fans. And once the video's over, let me know down in the comments below which of them applies to you. The first type of Pokemon fan is the Genwunner. And I'll let Torchic from Pokemon Talk #1 define this one.
A Genwunner. He's one of the Pokemon fans that refuses to accept any of the newer Pokemon and only sticks with Generation 1.
To explain further, these Pokemon fans are ones who played the games, watched the anime, or traded the cards as a kid, but lost interest in the franchise as they grew older. Now, while losing interest in a certain fandom as you age is completely normal and acceptable, disparaging the newer parts of that fandom for no good reason is not. Genwunners have extremely cloudy nostalgia goggles that cause them to believe that everything in Pokemon created after the first generation is inferior or bad, and that the creators of Pokemon are running out of ideas. Vanillix, Garbodor, and the Rotom forms are some of the most frequent targets of Genwunner criticism, spouting claims that Pokemon based on food, garbage, or inanimate objects are unoriginal and stupid. Genwunners clearly aren't the most understanding Pokemon fans, and for a longtime fan like me, or possibly you, interacting with one can be pretty frustrating. However, I would urge you not to treat them with hatred, but with sympathy. They are a breed shrouded in ignorance, having missed out on so many years of amazing Pokemon content, so don't be mean to them. Their lives are sad enough. Next we have the casual player. This is the Pokemon player that progresses through the games at their own pace, using the Pokemon that they think look the coolest, even if they're not the strongest. As they play through, they're not worried about their Pokemon's EVs, IVs, nature, or even ability, and their team might end up being a little imbalanced in regards to type matchups. But none of that really matters since they're just doing a regular, chill playthrough, and Pokemon really isn't that hard of a game. This is in stark contrast to the next type of Pokemon fan, the competitive battler. These type of Pokemon fans love one of the game's most central mechanics, battling, so much that they prefer to battle real people rather than basic NPCs. But in order to win against another real person, which is going to be much smarter than a regular old NPC, you have to be using the strongest Pokemon available to you, since that's what your opponent's going to be doing. This results in competitive battlers caring a lot about a Pokemon's EVs, IVs, base stats, nature, ability, and available moves, since those determine how good a Pokemon is. However, this does make it so weaker Pokemon that can't keep up with the stronger Pokemon end up really never used at all and totally forgotten, even if the battler likes that Pokemon a lot. However, it should be noted that Smogon's tiering system allows for certain weaker Pokemon to shine in lower tiers. For example, Vikavolt is one of my favorite Pokemon, and it's really not very good because it's slow, but it's one of the better Pokemon in the never used tier. Competitive battlers can be further divided into various subcategories depending on which battle format they prefer the most, like singles, VGC, Draft League, or any of the countless other battle formats, but all of them have one important thing in common: a necessity for using the strongest Pokemon available. Side note, little fun fact about me, I was a casual player for most of my Pokemon career and then became a competitive battler, but then when competitive battling got too, well, competitive, I went back to being a casual player. Sort of, because a lot of my knowledge from my competitive battling days has infected my playthroughs. For example, if there's a Pokemon I want to use on my team and I catch it and it has a nature that lowers its primary attack stat, I'm ditching it and getting another one. The next type of Pokemon fan is what I've decided to call the Gonly, short for Go Only. As the name implies, these Pokemon fans only play Pokemon Go, so their knowledge of the franchise as a whole is limited to what is in that game. Additionally, many often forget that Pokemon Go is using the main series games as its source material, not something that Niantic is creating from scratch. Oh my god, dude! I just hatched a shiny Geodude! Wait, what's in Alola form? Ugh, Zapdos' shiny is awful. Why did Niantic design it like that? Yeah, I caught one Tangela a while back, but I've ignored all the other ones since. It's not any good, and I just needed one for the dex. I'm sorry, did you say Groth? If you're a Pokemon Go player familiar with the main series, like myself, I urge you to educate your Go-only peers at every opportunity, for the sake of their knowledge and your sanity. After that, we have the Cutict. Name subject to change, because it's supposed to be a combination of cute and addict, but it still kind of sounds weird, but I just couldn't think of anything better. An amusing example of a Cutict is my girlfriend Jubilee's mother. She has a self-applied rule that she must catch every single Jigglypuff she finds in Pokemon Go, and she will only send gifts to people on her friends list who have cute buddy Pokemon. She refused to send a gift to somebody who had Tropius as their buddy because she thought it was ugly, which was really sad because I love Tropius. Next we have the Shiny Hunter. These are Pokemon players who love the process of hunting for and finding rare alternate colored Pokemon using any of the countless shiny hunting methods that are in all of the games. Some prefer to find competitively viable Pokemon, but others just want to collect the shiny Pokemon or find one for a specific purpose, like a shiny false swiper. I am a shiny hunter myself, along with a lot of other Pokemon YouTubers, because it's fun to capture our reactions to finding shiny Pokemon on camera, and, well, that's the only kind of live streams of Pokemon you guys will watch. There is a subset of shiny hunters, though, known as full odds elitists. These are shiny hunters who believe that using any method to increase the shiny odds above that particular game's base full odds, or for some, anything that increases the odds above the pre-Gen 6 odds of about 1 in 8,000, takes away from the specialness of finding a shiny. Okay, elitist is probably an aggressive umbrella term, because there's plenty of full odds hunters who just prefer that and are very chill about it. They're just like, I like to hunt with full odds. It takes longer, but it's more exciting for me when I find it. But there are some who are definitely elitists. Speaking of shiny Pokemon, the next type of Pokemon fan is the obvious hacker. Now, I'm not talking about competitive battlers who gen in Pokemon to save time on breeding and training. I'm talking about the kids who just discovered how an action replay works and are going up to battle you with a team of all level 100 shiny legendaries with perfect stats and movesets, and they still lose. Next up is the TCG Fan. The Pokemon trading card game is a large chunk of the Pokemon franchise that I'm admittedly not as familiar with, but it's a really important piece of that franchise that has a large, loyal fan base. TCG fans can be divided into two subcategories: TCG collectors and TCG players. TCG collectors are ones who prefer to collect the cards. They like buying the packs to see what rare pulls they can get, and they either hold on to the cards for their collection, or they resell them, or they hold on to them to resell later. And TCG players are those who actually regularly play the trading card game, either among friends, using TCG Online, or by going to official events. Full disclosure, I actually don't fully remember all of the rules to the trading card game because me and my brother tried to play it against each other as kids, and we got so mad and yelled so much that my mom told us we weren't allowed to play against each other anymore, and I haven't played since. Next up, we have the Pokken Player. These are people who love the Pokemon fighting game Pokken Tournament. Most of these tend to be Pokemon fans that already had an interest or affinity for fighting games, so when those two were combined together, they were hooked. They also possess a lot more hand-eye coordination and better reflexes than the average Pokemon fan, since Pokken requires quick reaction time and decision making, while regular Pokemon games do not. Unless you're fishing. Additionally, they're sadly often snubbed at official events since the Pokken community is a lot smaller than the VGC or TCG community. But I personally would like to see it grow, because while I am not very good at the game, it is super fun to watch. And lastly, we have the hardcore, lifelong Pokemon fan. This is me. These are people who fell in love with Pokemon as a kid and have stayed in love with it to this day. They can list a Pokemon's name, typing, evolutions, generation, and more just by looking at a simple picture or even just a silhouette of it. They get every new main series game on the day it comes out, and while they may enjoy other franchises, Pokemon will always be their #1. So there we have it. Those are the 10 types of Pokemon fans. Which type or types are you? Let me know down in the comments below which of these applies to you. I'm personally a hardcore lifelong fan, if that wasn't obvious, with a bit of casual, competitive battler, shiny hunter, and TCG collector sprinkled in. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a like, it helps me out a lot, and if you're any kind of Pokemon fan, I know you'll enjoy my videos, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Unless you're a Genwunner. Alright, that's all I have for now, so till next time, big fans. Gotta catch them all!